What's up, folks? And let's get into this week's review of Fear the Walking Dead. No spoilers, non-spoilers. You won't find any spoilers. Don't ask me about spoilers. I am not going to ruin this episode for you all, or any episode. This, as always, is just a video to get you all hyped, to give you a little bit of the outline, the framing of what's going to happen in this episode that will prepare you, get you excited to check out this episode. So this may sound a little bit dated or whatnot, but there was no Fear the Walking Dead this Sunday. However, I'm getting a chance to check this out just a little bit early, and this is a holiday weekend. So this episode 15 of season 6 will be releasing on AMC Plus June 3rd and on AMC June 6th. And this episode is USS Pennsylvania. Now, if you know, when you see USS, you know that means that we're talking about some vessel. And yes, we're talking about a submarine. So here, let me just give you the synopsis. That way, I'm not leaking any information to you all. This is the official synopsis, so that we can start there, then we can get into the things we can discuss. So in a race against time to stop Teddy's plans, motives are revealed, convictions are tested as Morgan and his allies infiltrate and make their way through the beach submarine, and hold the tools for Teddy's destruction. So this is a crazy episode here. Very crazy episode. There's a lot going on here. And yes, as I said, the race against the clock to stop Teddy. So first off, I gotta say, we know that there's a couple of different things happening right now. We know that Dakota is alongside of Teddy, and they have a really interesting scene together. I mean, I even love how it's shot. It's very, very dramatic. And obviously, to Teddy's side is Riley, who is a very vital part to Teddy's plan here. We know what Teddy's plan is, but Morgan and them don't actually really know everything. So I'm going to say this. Now that all the stakes are at the highest now, lines are crossed in this episode, and the peace is over, which means the beacon of peace, the axe, is removed from the mantle, and it's time to get to business. Morgan, alongside of his allies, all the rest of the people, have got to go stop Teddy. And like I said, there's a lot of intense things that happen. Even the graphic scene in the beginning, the graphic cover scene in the beginning of each episode, this one is very, very cool. And it's like, wow. And it automatically has you thinking like, okay, what is about to go down in this episode? So wait till you see that graphic scene, folks. But yeah, like I said, things get very intense from all different angles, like from action to just dialogue. I mean, Grace and Morgan has a talk. And this new attitude, Grace, man, I tell you, it's crazy. It's crazy. Also, Teddy and Officer Dory finally has their talk, and that is intense. And more importantly, now Morgan, stepping into this situation here, he's starting to really see his relevance and his role into Teddy's plan. He hadn't had all the pieces put together, but he now figures it out. He all figures everything that's happening, along with Dakota's decrypted messages of the past and how that plays into a part. There's a lot that goes on here. But the biggest thing about this is that we know everybody has their own little group, community, whatever you want to call it. But the most important thing is that there's no heroes here. They have to work as a team if they're going to be successful. There's no one-man hero. Morgan cannot do it by himself, as we know he traditionally likes to do. And anybody else who decides they wants to step up. Everybody has to work in unity in order for this to be successful. Now that we know that they're entering a submarine, there is a ton of walkers in this vessel. A ton of them. All of them, the submarine crew. They're pretty ugly too. The walkers are pretty ugly. There's also, shall I say, some walkers who are completely juiced up. You'll see. But yeah, there's some really interesting dynamics with the team, because there's a lot of really difficult, and people are forced to make very difficult and all sorts of decisions under pressure and desperation. So you're going to see a lot of different dynamics between people. And I will say that there's one that just completely blew my mind. But as always, characters who do these, unpredictable things are back up to their very much unpredictable, same shenanigans. But yeah, there's a ton of difficult decisions to be made in this episode, as you'll see. But yeah, this episode was filled with a ton of cool shots, and just really like cool and surprising things that they kind of did with the walkers and how they maneuvered around the submarine. So I definitely was digging that. But yeah, this episode has a lot of drama for Morgan and the crew, and it all comes down to the bottom line of, can they stop Teddy, and can they find and save Alicia, who's still out there? So a lot goes on in this episode. I enjoyed this episode. This is episode 15 of Fear the Walking Dead, USS Pennsylvania. Again, it's going to be dropping on AMC Plus June 3rd and on AMC June 6th. Now, again, there was no Walking Dead this week, holiday weekend, but nonetheless now, come next week when this does release, you all are going to be in for something. This episode had me at the edge of my seat, but it also sort of felt like episode I haven't seen the Fear the Walking Dead in a while. It just felt different. Like, I don't know. It wasn't so heightened with the drama like the other episode were, but the drama is clearly there. And you just really don't know what to expect because they're in a closed space with an entire crew of walkers around, and everyone's kind of playing their part, and they're also still are tasked to work together in order to stop Teddy. And it's a lot. And then there's Dakota. But yeah, folks, check out this episode. Drop in the comments. Let me know what your thoughts about this episode. I know you all seen probably the trailer or promotional material, which I have not seen for this episode. Give me your thoughts and predictions for this episode. And as always, folks, stay tuned because we're covering all things Walking Dead from here to come. Thank you for checking out, folks.